On Sun 969, it's time to talk EV with Hunter Murray. Hunter's back. He's from Jaycar. We know him from Jaycar. We know him from the Phone Hut. But he's here talking about EV, electric vehicles today, the ones that don't burn, hopefully. We've got to put it out there straight away because that's been the biggest conversation.
That's
biggest
good.
conversation around the world, not just
ridiculous.
in Australia, but around the world, especially with Elon Musk and all the dramas that they've had over there. EVs, I like the idea of EVs. I think they're a great idea. The electric vehicle has been something on the cards for many years.
Yeah.
And we're in the world of them now. And, people are taking them up at a slow rate. But there's still a few of them around.
Yep.
So, you're the chairman of the Australian Electric Vehicles Association, and you're also the chair of the Territory branch.
The
as
NT
well.
branch, exactly right. We've the NT branch has only just actually opened up in the last year or two, but the association's actually been going since 1973.
Wow.
Yeah. Since the first fuel crisis, basically. Back if and you may be old enough to remember. I'm not.
No, I'm not old enough to remember. But I have
when
heard
they
of
had
it.
they had the big fuel prices
Yeah.
hits, and basically, it was back then as it is now. It was more like a totally monetary type thing where they started converting cars to electric using the old lead acid batteries, and and so really the association came about because I was obviously still insurance stuff involved back then too. So the idea was to help people convert cars.
Right.
It's changed a bit now, as you can imagine. Now it's become a bit more mainstream with the vehicles now available from Japan, China, and America. It's more become helping people get into EVs now and making the right choice. So we're out there supporting people, getting them educated, if they want to be educated, helping them if they want to do long trips. We can lend them charging cables and stuff if they're a member, and save them money in the long run. We point them at least to the right direction that they can get help with,
So does it cost money to be a member?
About $60 a year, I think, off the top of my head.
Okay.
So it's quite nominal, really. I think the benefits outweigh what the cost is.
Yeah.
So, and again, you're amongst a group of like-minded people that can help out. It also helps towards, like we said, supporting the charging network that's now growing. Probably the territory's a little bit lacking behind, but again, population, only 250,000 people.
Well, you've got one on the side of your building.
Yes, I do. So, I was probably one of the early ones that put a fast charger in there, and that was really to support thing. And I did build a little bit of a business around it. It's not making any money, as you do. But Outback EV is the idea. We go out, well, I go out mainly, but we have a team of guys from the other shops that may go out and repair chargers if they need repairing, or at least helping out people when they have troubles with chargers. So we're trying to be the Central Australian support for charging nationally.
Well, I know up in Darwin at the university up there they had a whole lot of chargers, and people would charge their car during the day. I got to test drive a Tesla up there too. One of the ladies working at the university said, "Come and try a Tesla," because apparently there's some sort of deal. There's a kickback scheme, so if you buy a Tesla, the other person gets some money back or something like that. Yeah,
it's a bit of a referral scheme.
And
it's still about.
I loved it. I must admit, I really enjoyed driving the Tesla.
They are pretty nippy.
It's up on the screen in front of you, on the windscreen.
Yeah.
And we're looking at our screen here, but no, we don't have a screen. I'd love to have a Tesla screen here. In fact, it would bring us out. We've got a whiteboard here, so we're back in the 1960s or something. But it would be lovely to have a Tesla screen in front of me, because the way it works, all the electronics are up on the windscreen in front of you. So you've got all these readouts and things. It's like space age. And I thought, I can't go back to a normal car after that. Now, I've driven some nice cars over the years, Mercs and Audis and things like that, and I thought, I can't go back to a normal car after driving a Tesla, but unfortunately my wallet is preventing me from getting into a Tesla.
Well, how long ago was that, though?
This was 2.5-3 years ago.
Okay, not too long. But, I think you'll find the second-hand market's looking really good now compared to even 2.5-3 years ago.
There's a lot of discussion with all that tech involved in the windscreen. If you smash your windscreen here in town, which we unfortunately have some rotten eggs around town that throw a few rocks, the theory was that it would cost you a fortune to get your windscreen replaced.
I mean,
and you couldn't even get it done here. Can you get it done here?
I'm pretty sure you can. Right. I've had 3 windscreens done by rocks. Just normal wear and tear because I'm up and down the highway all the time. those particular ones just worked out that I was going through Adelaide and got it done there locally.
Right.
I think even that, I mean, there's still, you get insurance. Windscreen insurance here is pretty common.
But the windscreens must be high tech because they're projecting up on them.
They've got projection and they've got cameras up the top there. So it's got to be done properly.
Yeah.
I think from memory it was about $2,500, but it was a free windscreen coverage. Insurance covered it. You just got to make sure you have your stuff eggs in a row when it comes to that. But it's not unusual. I mean, you'd be paying $1,500, $2,000 for a normal windscreen now too. So.
Yeah, true. So the windscreen for all electric vehicles has it like that, like the Tesla?
No, not at all. Well, most, actually, not just electrics, actually most moderns that have some sort of auto drive, lane keeping, that type of thing, they'll all have cameras up in the windscreen. And basically it's just a bit of gear that sits next to the windscreen, but it's sealed off so the light doesn't get in from the sides.
Okay.
And it also is right in the spot where the windscreen wiper wipes at the top.
Yep.
So it keeps it clean, keeps the lens clean for driving. But now, look, a lot of even the ICE engines have got these auto drive type situations now. The safety stuff. I'm trying to remember the acronym now, but I'll think of it in a second. But yeah, it's quite common, so that's why these windscreens are all $1,500, $2,000 sort of bucks to fix now. So it's not unusual, and and also the insurance wise too. I think you need to think about for now. You were going to mention earlier. I think we said off air that we mentioned about the fire safety stuff.
Yeah.
One other non-profit group that I'd love to kick on is called EVFiresafe.com, and they're actually based in. Ironically enough, at the moment in the middle of Victoria, and actually, that's the CFA volunteers that do the EV Safe Fire.
Right. Okay.
So they're quite up with it. It's only the EV stuff that gets reported.
Oh, there's a lot of car fires.
Yeah, but not many EVs. I mean, you actually have a look. And EV Firesafe have those stats on their website. So don't quote me exactly. I'm only working from memory. And how they catch on fire is another thing. I mean, like it might have been through an accident, obviously. Yes. That's number one. Number two, whether they have a recall, like the Mercedes had something about a fuel leak at one stage and they had to recall a lot of their certain model back a few years ago. So there's different reasons for having the fires, not just self-combustion.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at the stats, when you actually look at the real world stats of facts.
So really the hybrids are the dangerous ones.
Look, the stats say so. Yeah. So I would like to say yes, but the stats are there to prove the point. And it's mainly because they are the most complicated and more things can go wrong, in my opinion. It's an interesting
So you wouldn't
fact.
recommend a hybrid?
Not anymore. Look, I've been through them. I started off with plug-in hybrids back in 2014. I've had some sort of electric vehicle, and you got to remember, a hybrid is only a little bit electric. It's mainly petrol, right? And there's different types of hybrids. So this is where I'd love to do a bit of education, if you like. There's actually like 3 or 4 different types of hybrids. There's one that's what they call a mild hybrid. A HEV, which is the standard hybrid, which you would have known as the Prius. Yeah. And then you've got a plug-in hybrid, and there's a couple of different variations.
Because I tried one at a motor show called the Leaf, I think it was.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's still a full electric.
Was that a full electric? Yeah.
So Leaf's never had a hybrid.
It wasn't hybrid.
So, but Nissan did have hybrids.
They had it on roller wheels, so you could just drive it at the show. How good's that?
Was it quiet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been electric, because the hybrids still kick in. They still got an engine. Yeah. Usually when you power up, that engine will kick in. So you've got your standard hybrids. Back in the day, turn of the century, we had heaps of Priuses. We didn't have the Leafs until about 2010, 2012. But let's go back to the hybrids. So they had a system, they used to call them parallel or series hybrids. Yep. So the parallel hybrid was when both the engine and the electric motor would go together to give you max power. The series would be where your motor would generate to the battery and charge the battery, and the battery would drive the car. So that's what they call it. It's all in series.
So I've noticed
2 different
that
ways of doing the same thing.
I think I've been in a taxi like that, and sometimes it's on the petrol, sometimes it's just moving between.
You hear it on and off. So and this is the thing. Like you've got Toyota kind of saying, well, it's self-charging, and it's like, well, no, it's charging off the petrol. Yeah. So then you've got what they call a mild hybrid, where they have just basically a little electric motor replacing your generator in the car, and this is what they're doing with the modern Utes they've got at the moment. You got to be careful of these in the Toyotas and the Ford Rangers, I think it is. They put a little battery behind the back seat, and they've got this little motor stroke generator on the actual fan belt.
Yeah.
Might give you 20, 30 horsepower, right, more. But it is a mild hybrid. It's really, the engine runs all the time.
Yep.
You just it's like a little turbo or a power boost, and yeah, look, it helps. I can't say I haven't driven one of those, but I'd say it would just help a little bit in economy, really, and a little bit of a boost when you need that juice. And then, so that's the mild hybrid. Now we'll go back the other way, where they started adding a plug to the hybrid. So they put a little bit bigger battery in again. And now you've kind of got a semi-electric, motorised vehicle. That's why they called it plug-in hybrid vehicle, or PHEV.
Right.
And then, so you had a choice. Now, this is where I would say to people, if you can't get your head around not having a combustion engine, and that's fine. I get it. Took me a while too. And I'll tell you why I changed my mind in a second. The plug-in hybrid gives you a choice of fuel.
Right.
Right. So now you've got the choice in the sense that if I'm doing long trips, I have the choice to fuel up. If I'm doing short trips all day, right, and especially in a town like Alice, where I can charge at home and get that really, really cheap rate of fuel, well, now I have a choice.
So you don't have to have it in petrol mode?
Correct. Okay. There is a genuinely EV mode, and there's genuinely a hybrid mode,
Sounds
and there's genuinely they call it charge mode, where it has to be petrol, but it charges the battery as well. So you can use petrol to charge it, but that's where I guess people don't understand. Like, petrol cars have only got one sort of fuel, but EVs can actually charge off any sort of fuel when you think about the big thing. We can charge off diesel. I'll be the first to admit, but it's much more efficient than burning diesel in a diesel vehicle. So that's another story. Now,
okay, that's a good thought.
Yeah, so because when you're charging off diesel, you're actually in a generator that's at the perfect speed for burning the fuel.
Yep.
And it's the perfect speed for tuning it and then getting the max power out
Whereas
of it.
as you're driving a diesel, you're pushing the
You're up and
accelerator
down all the time. It's inefficient. So that
unless you put it into a cruise mode.
Yeah, unless you're driving long distance at the same speed.
Which is why people buy diesel. Diesels. When we bought a car in Melbourne years ago, we looked at the diesel version of the car, and it wasn't going to be worth it because we weren't going to be on the road long enough each day.
Yeah.
So we're going to drive 30 minutes each way 4 times a day to go take the kids to school.
Yep.
And it was still not going to be efficient enough by the time you turned the engine on and warmed it all up and everything. It wasn't going to be efficient enough. So we stayed with the petrol. But look, we've run out of time, as we always do. You and I always have a good yarn, don't we?
Mate, this is just the start. BYD, which is one of the big Chinese guys, they've just bought out a $24,000 car.
Yeah, wow.
It's a nice little hatch. It's not a big car. It's a nippy little car, but it's still a 4 to 4.5 seater, probably 5 seater technically. But they've still got 400 Ks range. If you go to $27,000, you'll go to 600 Ks, I think, just roughly off the head. And it's called an Atto 1. Check the figures yourself, like I'm only spouting them out. But and again, I'm not here to sell it. I'm here to sell the idea that those cars at that sort of price are definitely par now. That we're hitting this peak point where we're actually getting the same price difference.
Good.
Or same price parity, I should say. Let's keep an eye out, guys, because there's a lot of these in town now too. You'll see a lot of the BYD Seals, the bigger cars, and that. So look, Tesla's not necessarily ruling the roost anymore. I mean, I love them too. I have too, but now they've driven the Ford and a couple of other ones. Geez, they're really on the ball. So I just a shame we don't have like a proper service centre here. It's still a bit shame. However, they do come in to do servicing remote, so they'll fly a tech in. We get 3 or 4 people lined up, and then you can get it all done at the same time, because most of the stuff that needs servicing is not critical. It's fluff, it's radios and it's mirrors, and it's cosmetic, right? So anyway, I won't hold you up. If anyone's interested, we'll have more. It's there's so much to talk about with it, and as you can see, I get a bit excited about it. Sorry, guys, but driving these things around, and if anyone wants to have a chat at the shop, I always welcome people in, and we can show them how the systems work. But it really is easy, and maybe just to put in one more, the charging fact, the solar. Like, I've got 40 kilowatts of solar on the shop, and a little battery to keep me going if we have a power failure, and that really that 40 kilowatts runs my 4 electric vehicles, my shops with all the aircons on, and I still have a 0 power bill. So you guys can work it out. That's was $1,000 a month for my power bill, right? And now, and I'm not even including the petrol bill because I can't even remember that because that was probably 10 years ago. But yeah, now that runs all my vehicles and that. Now, when I go bush, which I have to do bush jobs, yeah, sure, I have to pay for power at that point.
Yeah.
But it's still reasonable. I would say it's not any more than, the worst case, it's not any more than normal petrol.
I've been talking to Hunter Murray from JCar Electronics and also Phone Hut. Go and see him if you want to find more about electric vehicles. He's also the president of the AEVA.